In terms of the result tonight, I feel that 2-2, there's an element of maybe frustration in terms of the way that we felt the team played, because I always felt that City were in control, Edinburgh City that is, and to come away with 2-2, is it a good point? Is it too dropped? There's a lot of changes to the team.
I think based on the first half performance, I think I'm disappointed only to get a draw, because I thought a fair half-time score would have been 3-0 to us. I think they scored for a second phase, a set play, and they didn't have another shot on target, I don't think, in the half.
No.
Whereas we scored. Uzi had one that was offside that he finished really well, but he shouldn't really be getting caught offside there. And then he was through one-on-one, and he would normally put that away. So off the top of my head, I'm thinking that was 3 really good chances there. So we should have been, in my mind, maybe 2-0 up at half time. But you find yourself going behind, you've got to fight back for that, and we did fight back for it. 1-0. Come in, second half, say to the players that we're doing well. Didn't really want to change much. And then we found ourselves sort of, I don't know if out the blue, but it wasn't out the blue, but I didn't feel that we should have been 2-1 behind. And you think, but we went again, and we got a goal back for Michael, and made it 2-2. And then at 2-2, it can go either way. We're putting long balls into their box, they're putting long balls into our box. Is it a mistake? Is it a bit of brilliance? I have to be honest with you, at 5 minutes to go, 2-2, I just gladly took a point, something for us to build on for the second part of the season.
Yeah.
So at that stage, I'm happy to get a point. The first half performance, I'm frustrated that we never got 3 points.
I think at the end of the first half, as you say, Uzi had that shot, and whether it's well saved or a bad miss, whatever way you want to put it, Elgin come out and they have kind of exactly the same type of shot, and it goes in, so you're chasing it, and it's 2-1, but we just played controlled football, I felt.
Aye, listen, we changed it a wee bit in the midfield area 2 or 3 times in the match, just trying things that we've seen and we thought, could that help us? And then we changed back, and then I think overall it was nothing to do with the change. I think it was just the players really. I think some of them enjoyed being on the pitch for the first time in a long time. It was good to have Danny and Tappy back, and Uzi, who obviously 3 big players for us, and Danny and Tappy done particularly well to last the full game, because I've only had 1 training session with the group, and I didn't think I'd have got past 60. In fact, I wasn't even going to play Tappy, and I phoned him today. He says, no, I want to play, Gaffer. He says, I want to play. He says, I've done 4 or 5 running sessions away for the thing, and he says, I feel ready, I can play, I'll definitely get to 60 minutes. So when a senior lad tells you that, you've got to put him in really. So for him to get 90, listen, he'll be sore for a couple of days, but we can look after the 2 of them on Monday and then get them back training on Wednesday.
With the starting line-up, and there was, you'd signed 5 players, and we're going to come back to that, 4 players were starting. Was it a concern that come the 60-minute mark that you might be forced to make some substitutions?
Yeah, and we didn't really have like for like in certain areas of the pitch, which meant that other players had to go and play out of position, which we've done all season. But at least we were aware of it this time, So as I say, we thought Danny wouldn't have got that far, and he did, so that was great. So that was one we didn't really need to worry about. But you're right, 4 new signings. Jack Bryden trained twice with us. Cammy Logan trained once with us. And Ant McDonald and Michael turned up tonight. Hadn't met the team or anything like that. So I was quite pleased really to how we played in the first half, bearing in mind the team was just sort of thrown together. Because Michael's clearance didn't really come through until 10 past 5 or something. So up until then, but there was other part of me as well. The first thing I had to do tonight was when I named the team, I had to say to Johnny Jarran, James Farrell, Lucas Berry and Cammy Fraser, look, be disappointed you're not playing because you've done really well against Cowdenbeath, but I'm going to need you tonight, so make sure you're ready. And I think 2 of them got on, and they did play well when they came on, so they responded in the right way. But I didn't forget how well the 4 youngsters done for us. I just felt tonight that the new players will maybe, it's a flip of a coin, when you've not trained together and you've not worked in it, and 3 of them are going into your back 4, you've no idea how it's going to work. But in the main, I was quite happy with it, and I think there's things for us to work on in the coming weeks.
You've given us a clue there by talking about Michael. His first name a couple of times there, but 29 trialist.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say, that's why I've just said Michael.
Scores on his debut. So, Can you elaborate on the trialists and where you are there?
No, listen, we've done a deal to sign Michael Travis for Forfar. It was known to us that he could be available, so the chairman's been dealing really hard with Forfar over the last couple of days to try and get something sorted, and he managed to pull it out the bag the night at 5:10, so I've got to give a lot of praise to the chairman. He worked hard as well. He was at Queensferry this morning meeting Anthony McDonald to get his contract signed to try and get that registered in time. He was pushing through, I think we only got Jack Layfield's international clearance at about 4:30. So a lot of work's went on behind the scenes and you're selling that with the kit and that, with Cat being off with COVID, and we're trying to find kit for new players and strips and that. So a lot of people have put a lot of effort into the night's game. You know, we never had a goalie, Coach X suffering with COVID and stuff like that. So Liam and Brown stepped up to the plate. But getting back to Michael, delighted to have him in. You know, he played as a trialist tonight, but the deal's done, that'll get registered. I just feel he's an experienced League 1, League 2 centre half. He's vocal. That was the biggest thing I heard about him tonight. But I like the way that he talks to them in the right way. His teammates, you in here, you drop back there. Uzi work a wee bit harder up front. That's him shouting for the defence. Saves me having to shout on. So if we can get more leaders like that onto the pitch. But I thought he played really well. And for him to cap it with a goal, he'll be delighted with that. So that deal's done. And we've got a good experience, as I say, lower league centre half defender at a good age and the right type of character. And somebody like that can only help Jack Bryden and James Farrell, who are only 18 at the start of their career. And I probably think Jack Bryden was probably our man of the match tonight without watching the game back. I thought he'd done really well, even when he went to right back. And it was good because we've got a lot of youthful, energetic players out there tonight. And then you've got the older ones, but you've got Tappy, Uzi, Danny Hanlon and Michael all around about 27, 28.
Yeah.
And they helped the lads in the right way as well. So as I say, quite pleased, slightly frustrated we didn't get the 3 points based on our first half performance. But all in all, when you say we threw everybody together tonight, really no train, no really worked on anything, because we couldn't train on Wednesday night really, it was just some strides because the pitch was a wee bit frozen. You take all of that into account, Brown coming in, still trying to learn the players' names and positions and how I want to set up, you know what I mean? So I think all in all it was important that we got something tonight, and at the end of the game, although you're frustrated not to get the 3 points for the first half, you're relieved that you've picked something up at the end of the game that gives the lads something to build on, because we can only get stronger the more we work. But you know, we're not finished. There's still 1 or 2 positions I want to strengthen. We've got a couple of targets we've identified. We've got 3 or 4 trialists coming in to train with us on Monday. And what will happen is if you get these, as it does, some people will find that they're out the picture, they maybe need to move on. That's just football, you know. I don't think anybody at the club could say that they've not had a chance this season. Due to injuries, nearly everybody's had a chance to impress. But I do feel we're still slightly imbalanced, especially on the left-hand side. You know, we've only got young Johnny, Callum Crane's no back yet. You know, Danny can play there, but he's right-footed. Robbie's going to boot for another couple of months. We probably still need to try and find a bit of competition on the left-hand side, because, you know, with all the will in the world, I want Callum to be back in the next couple of weeks, but until he is back, you have to count that he's not back. So, you know, we're a wee bit light there, and there's another area of the pitch that I'd like to strengthen as well. So that's my aim now, and that's what we'll be looking to do.
So I guess the chairman still needs some ink in his pen then for the rest of January?
Well, the chairman will need to try and get a number 25, 26 and 27 strict, because we've now used everybody's got a squad number up to that level. No, listen, but we'll only bring people in if it's the right people. If they're not any better than what we've got, they're not got to come into the club. You know, if we don't think that somebody can come in and put a real challenge to Callum Crane for the left-hand side, then he's not got to come into the club, because, you know, I would just use young Johnny for that, you know what I mean? But young Johnny's at the stage now where he's doing okay, but I don't think it'd be fair to play him week in, week out. You know, and Kieran stepped in there and he's doing great, but he's a right back. So we're just a wee bit short of natural left footers just now, and that's something that I'd like to try to get in to balance up the squad.
I think you said previously it is important that you pick the right times to play your younger players, to let them enjoy what they're doing, not put too much pressure on them, and you know, you just use them sparingly till you're confident. Yeah, listen, I trust them. Like there's the night 2-0, I've put James Farrell on at centre half, you know, right into the heart of the defence against one of the biggest threats as a striker in the league. Thought he'd done really well. I wouldn't do that if I didn't trust them. So I trust the young lads.
just got to watch you don't overuse them and make too much of them, and they have a setback that goes the other way. So now I think we're getting the balance right. I like that the young lads are disappointed when they didn't play, but they've got to make sure that they show the right reaction when they come on. And as I said tonight, I thought Lucas Berry did when he came on, and I thought James Farrell did as well. So, all in all, quite happy, Callum. You know, sometimes we've stood here and you're frustrated. I'm a wee bit frustrated. I don't want the fans to think that I'm happy that we didn't win.
Yeah.
But I think with everything we've just spoke about,
yeah,
it was most important that we got something.
Sure. Okay, Gary, thanks very much.
Cheers.